everybody. I'm just gonna start off by apologizing if I sound nasally. It's because I'm not sure if it's allergies or if I'm getting a cold, but you know, something going on in my face. But I'm here and I have this big beauty. I've already done the skin. So this is my husband's old scheme, this sort of really nice pink, but I'm going to be covering that up. And I tried really hard to actually get this camera to show you an accurate color of this skin. It looks extremely blue on the camera, but it is more of like a violet, like a dark violet color. So yeah, I don't really know how to fix that, but we power on through. So today I'm going to be working on this green cloth. So what I've done is I have put on a layer of this flat green, and then I washed it with this one here, a Thonian camo shade, and that's brought us up to here. Hey, tabletop painting, how's it going? Thanks for joining me today. So, yeah, so I'm just gonna go in, and I don't think that I'm gonna go straight with the flat green back on. I think I'm gonna mix this flat green and olive green in the palette, and I think I'm gonna make that for the first layer highlight. So I think I'm gonna probably go like a 1-to-1 for this. What are you working on today, tabletop painting? I wish that we could share links in YouTube. I mean, I understand why we can't, but it sure would be nice. Okay. Hey Jude, how's it going? So I am gonna stream next week, but then I'm gonna take a week off of streaming because I have to do like birthday stuff with my family, because it's my 36th birthday the Friday before. So, and there's not really, and the Sunday before, which is normally when we would be doing stuff, is I'm running a little tournament, Age of Sigmar tournament for my birthday, just because I want to hang out with people. So that only really leaves the Monday. So Monday the 28th, there will be no stream. I might make it up on a different day. Kind of depends what's going on. Some old Skull Past Dwarves. Is that from like Fantasy Battles? I don't know what that is. Feeling like I'm a walking corpse. Oh no, Jude, do you got like the sick? Do you got the sick? Because I might have the sick, I'm not sure. It's just like all of a sudden, about half an hour ago, my face just started leaking out of the blue. Alright, so let's try this color and see how it looks for a highlight. Move this one out of the way. Yeah, I like that. So this is going to end up being like as fluorescent as I can get it. I figure Slanesh probably likes fluorescent colors, so that's what we gonna do. Might have COVID and I didn't get much sleep last night. Oh no! Make sure that you're doing all the good stuff like drinking fluids and getting as much sleep as you can. 7th edition fantasy starter box. Oh, cool. Do you still play fantasy battles? I never did play fantasy battles. I don't know if rank and flank kind of style is my style. It probably isn't. I don't know. If I was going to play that style of game, I think I would just play like a Song of Ice and Fire. So when I do fabric, I do like to glaze. But this green is really, it's kind of hard to work with. But you'll see as we go along, it's a little finicky. Just, I think because it's so bright. Hey, Mark of Corn, how's it going? I haven't played anything in years. Been checking out 9th Age Fantasy. Is that like the last one before they went to Age of Sigmar? I hear that there's actually quite a few people in some places still playing that, the last edition of Fantasy Battles. Always a struggle to make yourself paint up duders and then rank them up and lose 75% of the work you did to being sardines. I heard that Fantasy Battles had like some crazy jank in it. Just the stories that some people have told me about that game sounds like it was pretty intense. Also, painting this model is like a little bit nerve-wracking because I've finished the skin already, so I'm gonna have to be really careful not to touch it and make any mistakes. I don't know why also it's always like a little bit more nerve-wracking for me painting a model when it's for somebody else. It's like, oh, I hope they like it. And like the entire time I'm painting, I'm like, oh, I hope they like it. Hey Alex, how's it going? Single spells wiping out 1800 points, turn 1 kind of broken. Yeah, see? That's like the shit that I heard, and I was like, I don't know if that's my kind of game. I also heard that stuff like that happens in War Machine. The Purple Sun. I mean, Purple Sun was starting to become a problem in Age of Sigmar too, but they fixed it. Did your unit fail a morale check? Well, so did the unit next to it, and the next one, and the next one. Oh, that would suck so bad. Your undead general died. Oops, there goes your army. Oh dear. The alleged best part of War Machine, you can always win by killing the caster. Really? That's like a win condition of every single game? Just kill the caster and you win? But with all that, it was still fun. Alright. What's more fun than I rolled boxcars and then a 10, I win? What? Is there like a story behind that? Yeah, I don't know, like that kind of game though, where it's just like, I don't know, win conditions like that, or whatever, I don't know, it just doesn't seem like it's necessarily, like, it just would suck to go to all that work, paint your army, get to the store, get the other person to show up to the store, play the game, and then, like, you set everything up, and then they, like, immediately kill your cast, and you're like, well, you're done. Like, what was the point? What was the point of even doing all this work? Warmahordes, caster kills. If you can roll well enough, the rest of the game didn't really matter. That sounds awful. I much prefer the whole army mattering. I agree. You just want to feel like you have a chance to play the entire game, right? And it's weird because I know my husband doesn't really like the War Machines models, but to me, I think they would actually suit my style of painting. But I don't like to paint stuff that I'm not going to play with, so yeah, I just don't think War Machine is in my future. But you never know. Never say never. You know, so I painted the skin on this like weeks ago on this model, and then I just sort of put it down while I was waiting for inspiration. And when I first painted it, I actually wasn't super happy with how I did the skin, but now that I've come back to it, I actually kind of like it. I actually really struggle to paint big models. I know a lot of people really enjoy painting them, but I much prefer painting small ones. So I always find these big models like quite a challenge. And I don't know what I'm going to do on the back off here. I was thinking like, maybe I'll do some sort of animal print, and then I was like, maybe I'll do some sort of like metallic fabric, and I just still haven't decided. So I think I'm just going to paint like literally everything else and then decide what to do at the very end. I don't have like a deadline for this piece, so I can sort of take my time to figure out what I want to do. Oh, I think I'm getting a cold. Dang it. I'm gonna like napalm this with some ginger tea after stream, I think. I don't want to get sick. It's coming up to my birthday. Oh yeah, Alex, if you're still here, happy birthday, man. I hope that you had an excellent day. Hope you got to hang out with friends and family. I certainly miss hanging out with you. So I started playing Dungeons and Dragons again. My old crew kind of collapsed in on itself. It was some young man drama, of which, whatever, I'm not into the drama. I'm like in my 30s, too old for that shit. But the crew that I played with, they were all like young men in their early to mid 20s, so that kind of fell apart right when I was gonna run Morkborg, but my dungeon master from that old crew is basically back at it, and he's running another game, and I freaking love my character. She's like a really, really old gnome, and at the same time, like, she's a little bit, I don't want to say reckless, but like she takes maybe some like unnecessary risks. Not super unnecessary, like they're somewhat calculated, but because everybody else in the party is like quite young, and she's like, well, if there's something dangerous that needs to be done, everybody calls her Mima also because she's like fucking real old. So she's like, if there's something dangerous that needs to be done, it might as well be Mima that does it because she's lived a good life. So I'm having a lot of fun playing this character, and we had like a bit of an edgelord character in the party, and like, yeah, anyway, like edgelorded himself to a really unfortunate death last session, and yeah, so that was kind of funny. I mean, it was like totally in character, but it was just like at the same time, like, we're on the 5th session. You really had to make that decision. What do you think gets you about the larger models? Is it trying to figure out how to get the same sort of small shades and such, or the bigger pieces of cloth and such? I just think that on like large surfaces, it's harder to get a nice, smooth coat with the paint, and because my style is rather clean, it's just like even more difficult. At the same time, I don't actually put like a ton of detail in, like when you compare my painting to like good painters. So yeah, I don't know, it's just, they also take longer paint, and yeah, it's just like a bunch of things, but I think it's mostly like the difficulty of getting a nice sort of smooth finish on the paint. And I sort of worry sometimes that like the style that I went with the smaller pieces in the army, because I'm painting this to match what I already painted and then gave to my husband. Yeah, I'm just like, oftentimes I worry that it won't look the same, like it won't look like it goes with the smaller pieces. But yeah, I do tend to glaze even on like my infantry sized pieces, but I find that I sort of take my time a little bit more and do multiple layers, like even more multiple layers, on bigger pieces. Compared to good painters. um, like award-winning painters. I mean, I like painting, and that's good enough for me. I don't have to try and paint good. When do you start streaming your D&D sessions? I don't think that we could. I think that our crew is like a little bit too degenerate to actually stream. Yeah, no, it's not gonna happen. I wouldn't be opposed to doing some like D&D streaming. But it really just sort of like depends on the crew you've got. Like we are a not safe for work crew. Definitely not safe for work, right? Like, and I was actually just talking about this this morning with my husband, because I was like, man, I was just realized I painted a bunch of ogres a while back and I never posted them. Like, I never posted them to Instagram. And I was thinking about it and I was like, why didn't I post them? Right? Like, I'm in this like mood where I kind of don't feel like sharing everything I do. Like, I used to post like little game recaps to my stories of the different games that I would play during the week and all that, and like I just stopped because I felt like I was sharing my entire life with strangers, and I don't know, I'm just like much happier now that I don't do that. But I'm not sure why. But yeah, maybe D&D is the same. Maybe it's something I shouldn't really share with strangers. Maybe it's a safe space where I can just be an idiot and not have to worry about people judging me, because like they're like super judgmental out there. My mom is crafty, I guess, and she recently started making a certain craft that people have wanted to buy. And so she's been selling them. She had just been selling them to like people who she knows who came over to her house and saw them and wanted to buy them. But this weekend she decided that she wanted to, well, a while ago she decided that she wanted to try going to like a craft fair. And so she got a table and she did all that stuff, but she was really nervous about doing it. And I was like, well, that's not like my mom. Like, why are you nervous? Because like my mom can do like public speaking and stuff. Like she's not normally like a shy kind of person. So I was like kind of shocked. I was like, why are you so nervous? Like you've done stuff like this before. Because she was a Girl Guide leader, so she, you know, we used to do that stuff all the time. And she was like, well, what if people say something bad about my art? And I was like, well, Mom, people just do that. Like, there's nothing you can do. People sometimes are just jerks. So, and I was like, but that's like the joy of art, is like if you're making it for yourself and you're not making it for other people, which I do feel like for a while I was painting to like, you know, be accepted or like have people like my work or whatever. But once you stop caring if people like your work and you just do it for yourself, it doesn't matter if people say that your work sucks. It don't matter. So, yeah, we had that little talk, and then she was like, you know what, you're right. And then she had a really good time. She made a bunch of money. And yeah, I think she should do more of them if she wants to. But yeah, people are just gonna have opinions about your art. That's kind of like the nature of art, I think. Get your dopamine from your community. Way less toxic. Yeah. Yeah, and honestly, like having a little Age of Sigmar community of people who want to hang out and do stuff, not just Age of Sigmar, has been really nice. So like, it's all Age of Sigmar people basically playing Dungeons and Dragons now. So that's been really nice to sort of have a little mini community and not have to rely on like an online community to interact and stuff. That's been really good for me, I think. So I'm not going to be worrying too much about doing a super good job on the inside in here because like nobody's really going to be able to see it. So I'm just going to clean it up with this color, maybe do one or two highlights, and I'm not going to make sure that it's like super opaque and perfect. Which Teddy really said, if they say something bad about your art, just kick them in the junk. Yeah, my mom was like, well, what if they say something mean and then I tell them off? Because that's where I get it from. And I was like, well, if they say something mean, then they had it coming, so just tell them off. Yeah, if you ever want to know where I get my backbone from, it's just both my mom and my dad, but, you know, in equal measures. Have to do some touch-ups on the tail after, once everything is done, but that's okay. Hey, Zan, how's it going? Because it was a holiday here, this weekend, well, this Friday, I have not been able to get my new stuff that I ordered from G-Dubs from my local game store. It makes me sad. I might go down today and see if it's in. Kind of want to play ogres for my like birthday bash thing, but I won't play the new book. So I'm gonna go down. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go down later, see if it's in. Hey Antonio, how's it going, my friend? Everything is going super well for me. I hope that you are doing well as well. How is Deep Games going? I'm okay, working like a sucker. Ah, I'm doing well. Mondays are my day off, so I just have to do a little bit of work in the morning. I mean, day off, so I never really get days off. Like fully off. I always have to do at least a little bit of work. But Mondays are a day where I do a little bit of work in the morning, and then I can take the rest of the day off. So I don't really have any plans. What I do have to do, so a gentleman that used to stream on Twitch contacted me this week. And we used to play, like, we used to stream 40k games on his Twitch channel. And he messaged me today, and or not today, a couple days ago. And he's like, hey, do you want to teach me how to play Age of Sigmar? And I was like, fuck yeah, bud, of course I do. So I'm going to have to set up an AOS list in TTS. For that, we're going to play on Wednesday. I don't think we're streaming, though. None of us are streaming on Twitch anymore. I find that, like, obviously you can make money on Twitch, right? Like, I was making money on Twitch, but, like, my heart wasn't in it. Like, there would always, I think it's because it's, like, a miniature painting community, and I don't know, like, when people come in and like try to tell you like how to paint and stuff, I don't know, it just really bothered me, because I'm like, it's my art and I don't get that here. People don't come on here on YouTube and like tell you how to paint your minis. Just nice. But I don't know why he quit streaming on Twitch, but I don't know. Stuff happens. Life happens. Are you getting some of the new guard stuff or still holding off? So I ordered the box, like the box with the infantry and the platforms, the weapons platforms, and the sentinel. I ordered that. I will get the tank. I'm probably just gonna order one. I still don't really have the desire to play Warhammer 40k, and that's just because of like, it's just because of like the way that my community is locally. There's not like a lot of people that I feel comfortable playing with anymore. So I will get that stuff to hobby and like add to my army in case the day comes that I want to start playing again. So I will. What else is there? Oh yeah, I wanted to get the Kill Team box too. Paul from my podcast was like, oh, I'll send you mine, and then he was like, I'm actually not going to send it to you because it really, the like rules work really well with my Catachance, and I was like, you bastard. So now I'm going to see if I can still track one down, because I'm not sure if they're sold out. I've heard that they're sold out, but I don't know. Because I would like the Casterkins. I think they're really cool. I'm not getting that horse dude though. I don't like that model. I might kit bash one though. I do have ideas on kit bashing one. And I don't kit bash, so that shows you like how much I really dislike that model. If I'm willing to kit bash something for it, like I just don't like it. I don't like it. But the rules are too good. Like they're too good. We're good right now cutting fake Yu-Gi-Oh! Oversized cards for a video. Interesting. Also got permission to cast in Spanish the US Open Grand Finale. Oh, amazing! Are you gonna be there, Antonia? That's like next weekend, right? Are you gonna be there? Because Scari's gonna be there. So you should go say hi if you're gonna be there. Oh, wait, let me do some mansplaining. Yeah. Hey, Rob, how's it going? Like, you mean on Twitch? Like the painters? I'm not sure if it has anything to do with gender. I think that they do that to everybody. So, I've talked about it a little bit, but to me, there's like a difference between the miniature painting community and like the just sort of wargaming community. And while I don't really feel like I particularly fit into one or the other, probably the wargaming community feels a little bit better to me. And that's just because of like my philosophy around painting, where I don't necessarily want to get better, and I don't want to like learn the skills to win painting competitions. I just want to like do my thing the way I want to do it, and that's not really conducive to like the overall miniature painting community. At least in my experience, they don't seem to understand. Like actually somebody like on Instagram reached out to me and was like, you should do this painting competition. And I was like, oh, thanks for thinking about me, but I don't do painting competitions. And I feel like they just about like fell out of their seat. Like, what? What do you mean? I don't feel the need to have somebody judge my work. So that's just sort of, and that's like my philosophy, and that's why like competitive wargaming, I don't feel like I belong there either, because I feel like my gaming philosophy is also like, I don't feel the need to have to prove myself anymore. Like, sure, I like winning, but like I just accept that I want to play my lists. I don't want to play somebody else's list that doesn't vibe with me just to win an event. I don't want to get like emotionally invested in a game. And yeah, that whole, I had a really bad incident recently in a competitive wargaming Discord, and it just sort of like made me realize like, I'm done with it. I'm not throwing my hat in with anybody anymore. I'm just gonna do my own thing. We cast from Spain. It was last minute thing. Aww. That sucks. Scary would love to see you. He's not going to be in the finale though. He's going to be in the what do they call it? The narrative thing, which seems so cool. Like you get to basically LARP your general or whatever. It just seems so rad. I think the wargaming community 100% needs more people just showing what it's like to enjoy hobbying instead of trying to do it perfectly. I think so too. Like, I think sometimes a lot of people forget, like, this is a hobby, you know, and you're supposed to enjoy it. So, like, if constantly striving to be the best is how you really enjoy what you're doing, then sure. But I'm sure that there's a bunch of us who just find painting miniatures really zen, because I do, and I'm sure that there's people who just like gaming with their friends and don't really care about the win-loss anymore. I used to like obsess about my win-loss record, and it was like sucking the life out of the game for me. I joined an Age of Sigmar league, and it was just like I didn't care anymore about win-loss, and I had so much fun. And then at the end of the league, I think I only lost one game in the entire league. But I didn't realize that until I was thinking about it after the fact. I was like, hey, I think I actually did pretty good in this last league. And I think partly doing pretty good was because I wasn't worried about it anymore. That's why I called my channel Tabletop Painting. Basically good enough to get it on the table. Right, and there's a lot of joy to be had in like just painting your toys. I feel like this past few years my husband has really embraced like I think one, he really embraced getting it done. And then after that, I think he sort of embraced like more of the artistic side of it, and not artistic in terms of like learning the skills to win a golden demon, but like artistic in the terms of like determining his own style and developing his own style and like mindfully making choices that fit that style. And it was just really cool to watch him kind of blossom the past couple years in terms of his hobby. And honestly, like, I don't really know anybody who's painted as much as he has in the past 2 years. So this green is super finicky, and I knew that going into this that the green is hard to work with, because these are the greens that I use on my orc skin. But I think with a little bit of patience, I think we'll get a good result. I want to I think I kind of want it to be a little bit darker of a green at the bottom, and then get like more fluorescent as we go up to the head. That's what I think. Tabletop painting is a good name. I like just put paint on it too. Yeah, I'm kind of bummed. We had a really big guest lined up for this week, but then Scary got this opportunity to go play in the narrative at the US Open. So I can't really blame him for canceling Just Put Paint on It this week. I mean, I probably would too if I had the opportunity to go play at that event. I've heard, like, so Red for my podcast is going, and like the stuff that he told me they were offering, I was just like, oh man, that is so cool. Like, you get to, like I said, you get to like LARP your general. Apparently, like, as soon as you enter the venue, like, everybody calls you by like your chosen general name and stuff. I don't know, it just sounds so cool. So I don't blame Scary one bit. But yeah, no Just Put Paint on It this week, fortunately. Man, we had a huge guest too. We had Duncan Rhodes. That was going to be our guest. So I don't know if we're going to be able to reschedule or not, but we'll see how it goes. Okay, I'm having trouble actually this particular part of this cloak, so I think I'm just gonna move along. Just move along. Y'all, I'm in rewatching Xena, and like, I forgot how much I love that show. It's so bad, but I just love it. You know? Everybody, I'm sure, has one of those shows that you're just like, it's so bad, but so good. I actually think that that show was like super, what's the word I'm looking for? It was like really instrumental, I guess, in creating the sassy human being that I am today. I'm gonna move on and do the next color because it'll get more and more opaque as we go. But I think that's good for the first layer. So I'm gonna just add just the straight olive green in. I seem to keep missing Just Put Paint on It. Well, dang. Well, there's not one this week, so don't worry about it. Xena was classic, so bad it's good TV, exactly. So bad, so good. Would you be willing to talk like this if you was LARPing use War Boss? I probably would not, honestly. I would probably have to play Guard if it was a narrative thing though, just because they're like my babies. So, I've got to play against Maggotkin of Nurgle, which are one of the more, I guess, well-performing factions right now. And holy Dinah, I was playing doubles, so it was 1,000 points of Night Haunt, 1,000 points of Bone Reapers, and against 2,000 points of Maggotkin, and holy, that is tough. And like the Glockkin has this ability that if you move within 12 inches of Glockkin, him and another unit within 12 can charge you. And I knew about it, but like I didn't really know how to like make that work. Like I don't know how to sort of, I guess, counter that. So that's what I'm gonna sit down and try to figure out, like how do you counter that? So I'm gonna have to like sit down and like draw pictures and little diagrams and stuff, because that is an interesting ability, and especially against an all melee army, you're just like, wow, how do I do it? Great interview with Lucy Lawless after the Spartacus show. Would you ever do Xena again? Well, I think we may have just ruined that. Well, I ruined it. I also never saw the Spartacus show. But like, why would we have ruined it? Spooky crossbow ghosts. They are not great. They're not great. I'm not gonna lie. Those crossbows are not. They're cool. And I made a list for this TTS thing. I kind of wanted to try them out, and then I was like, they're just, they're not great. Spartacus was very not safe for work. I think you might like it actually. Spartacus, Blood and Sand. Well, I might have to check it out. I'll have to see if it's something that I can like rent. Since I'm not gonna get like, words, Tanya. I'm not gonna get like Netflix or anything. Yo, Joshua Caps, how's it going? I love those colors. Thanks. Yeah, it's gonna be like almost yellow, this green, by the time I'm done. So, but yeah, I don't have this army anymore. I gave it to my husband, but he asked me if I could keep painting the odd thing here and there, because he liked the color scheme. So I was like, okay. And I thought it would be kind of like, it would be cool to do something different, since I normally am an army painter and I just sort of have my factions that I bounce between. I thought it would be cool to paint something different on stream, so I might from time to time work on this stuff. Trim this brush. The first actor for Spartacus was really good, but then he died to cancer, so they had to replace him. The new guy was good too, but it was just so sad to lose the first one. Aw, that is sad. At least it's never hard to find another Spartacus. Because we are all Spartacus. Hey, gamer stuff, how's it going? Exactly, we are all Spartacus. So I find green is a very difficult color to paint. Maybe not like a forest or military green, but like any other sort of green I find very difficult. And then I think it's really funny that like I have orcs, my guard is green, the Slanesh had a ton of green on it when I was painting it. It's like, if it's a color that's so difficult to paint, why do I keep doing it? Why? Tanya. I thought it said a lot for the crew, but also Haka they did for Andy Whitfield. Aw. Oh, was Spartacus also like a New Zealand show? I would love to work in a community that attached to each other. Yeah, that would be amazing. Also, you do it because the paint is so good. I mean, yeah, maybe I am actually a follower of Slanesh. To get better at it, I'm looking at building up salamanders. I was actually considering doing a 30k salamanders army at one point too, but then everybody stopped playing 30k. This was like in the last edition with the big black books. Then everybody stopped, and I was like, okay, fine, I'm selling it. And I don't really do anything to get better at stuff. I have made such a tremendous peace with my mediocrity. It's comforting in a way to do that. And then to just like do stuff just for the joy of it. Jeez, my sassy dog. What does he want? Hear him downstairs giving my husband the lip. I mean, it is that time. He's probably gotta go for a walk. I am at peace with my mediocrity. I am. Never used to be. I have, so I am a recovering perfectionist. And, it was really bad. 2 years ago in particular, it was really, really bad. I actually got therapy for it because it was making it so I couldn't do anything. It was perfectionism so bad that I wasn't finishing anything, and then it was getting to the point where I wasn't starting anything because I was like, well, there's no point. you know, and all that. So, yeah, I don't know, making peace with mediocrity. It's been really good for me. My nids aren't giving me the dopamine drip I was hoping for, so looking at other armies. Like in terms of playing or painting? I feel like I would actually kind of enjoy painting nids, but I don't think I would enjoy playing them. I think I wouldn't enjoy playing them, but that's why you get a friend that plays nids, and then you can just, especially one that doesn't enjoy painting, then you could just ask them to give you stuff to paint when you want to paint them. I've painted a few things, like I painted some warriors. I painted more like Genestealer cult stuff too, and the Genestealer cult stuff's super fun to paint. I like salamanders, though I mainly only painted their heads. I enjoy painting faces. Dog is just being a doofus. I keep losing to Punisher Simple Guard units. I also have Astra Militarum, I hope. Armor. I have not been playing Guard. I actually don't have any desire to play 40k at all anymore because I pushed so hard with Guard for so long. I don't even own and have not played any games out of the new GT pack. So, also, I don't always know what acronyms are, so, yeah. We all know, well, if people have been around here for a while, they know how much I actually really dislike acronyms. Hey, Colin, how's it going? I'm doing pretty good, actually. I think I'm coming down with a bit of a cold. It's either that or allergies. I like it literally just came over me, so I'm not sure. I'm not sure which it is yet. But other than that, I'm doing pretty good. Painting this little present for my husband. I hope he likes it. I've got a long way to go on this though, but I don't have a deadline on it, so that's nice. Oh, okay, I don't have the codex yet. Thanks, Colin. I hope that the new book is everything that you hope it will be. I'm getting the box and the book is in it, but I probably won't be playing it. Our province did just say to expect colds this week and to start masking up more. Yeah, I do have to go out and get my stuff that I pre-ordered, but I will definitely mask up before going in. But like I don't go anywhere, you guys. Like I don't do anything. I work at home. I very rarely go out. I don't know where I would even get a cold from. Maybe my husband brought it home. You guys got snow yet? Colin, we've had snow for over a week. Our first snowfall stuck, which is super weird. Normally it doesn't. And then it's been like -5 every day since then, so it hasn't melted. It's the weirdest. Normally we don't have snow yet. Did you guys get snow yet down there? Seems awfully early for you guys to have snow if you did. We had snow last week, but lasted only 1 day. See, that's what it's normally like here too. Like our first snowfall usually doesn't stick, but this one did. It is so slippery also. Been taking my dog for walks still and like almost eating it every day. Super fun. Ours didn't stick at all. Lucky. Snow is no bueno here. No? What green are you using? I'm working on my Mysterio model and that would be a good highlight. Yeah, I don't recommend this as a base coat, but it's Vallejo olive green. It is hard to work with, just because a lot of these Vallejo greens are in a pretty transparent medium, so do be warned, but it's nice. It's a nice color. I'm going to be building this up to almost fluorescent, so I have several more layers that I have to do, so it's not like a big deal if it's not 100% opaque at this point. Probably because it was 19 the day after, would have hated all the ice. Yeah, that's normally how it is here. It also was like 20 degrees the week before, and then like -5. It's like we had no transition period at all. It's very weird. I have a base of Warpstone Glow and want to build up the highlights. Like old Warpstone Glow, because I would say that this paint works probably pretty same to the old Warpstone Glow. Like in terms of its difficulty to use. Hey, Colin, did you hear that there is going to be a new Star Wars game based off of the Marvel Crisis Protocol system? So I would imagine that means it'll be the same scale. But I'm pretty excited about that because, like, I obviously haven't played enough of. I've played one demo game of MCP, but it probably would be easier for me to get into a Star Wars sort of flavored game than Marvel because I don't really know anything about Marvel. I know very little about Star Wars, but it's more than I know about Marvel. So, anyway, it looks interesting. Bubba? Isn't it almost time to go for a walk, Bubba? Can you let me finish this color, though? Can you let me finish this color? Mwah. I use Windsor, Newton Glaze Medium, and water. Usually makes it pretty smooth to apply. Lots of thin layers, though. Yeah, like this stuff's the same. It's just lots of thin layers. Lots of sort of feathering and blending and all that. Building up the opacity. This is very similar. They did a different scale to Legions, which annoyed a lot of people. That doesn't bother me though. Yeah, it doesn't bother me either. Like if I'm playing a different game, like it's okay. It doesn't need to have the same scale. I don't know. People just want to get like mad at everything. Like, did they want to just use their Legion stuff in a new game system? Because like that doesn't make sense from a business perspective to do that. Like they want you to buy stuff. God, this paint. I have to let this dry and then do another coat because it just does not want to cooperate. I don't want to cooperate. I'm happy with the larger scale. I'm really enjoying the MCP models, especially Kingpin this week. I haven't painted any of them, but I think the scale looks interesting. The only thing is that a lot of those Marvel Crisis Protocol models, because a lot of them are like in spandex and leotards, it's like they don't have a lot of detail, I guess, to like catch contrast paint and washes and stuff. Which doesn't really bother me. Like I can paint without wash and I don't really use contrast paint, so so it doesn't really bother me, but I could see it being a bit of a bummer to like new kind of painters who are looking to use those techniques to sort of save time or get their feet under them. They need some belts and pouches. They do. And teeny tiny feet. Not sure about that, but okay. Contrast and washes still really work on them. Contrast and dry brush for the win for beginner painters on them. I don't know. I don't like dry brushing for myself personally, so I can't really say, but I don't know. I just looked at some of the detail and I was like, it looks really shallow. Like the detail looks extremely shallow on them. Maybe the newer generation of models is different, but and I did see my husband painted a few, and yeah, the washes just didn't look like they were as effective. Like they just, cause they're all like in skinny leotards. I was just like, I don't know. Like the Marvel stuff is not something I'm like excited to paint. Like I don't look at them like, yeah, I really want to paint that. The game looks really interesting, but the models are just, and it could just be because I don't like superheroes. Like, I just don't like them. There's nothing that excites me about superheroes. Like, I don't like the way they look. I don't like their storylines. I'm not into comic books at all. It's not true. I do like some comic books, but they're usually indie books that don't involve superheroes. A lot of the models do have shallow details. A lot of leather glazing works best. Exactly. So I'm not saying you can't use like washes and stuff, but it just doesn't look like it's as effective as on other companies' models. Mid-90s style, every character is covered in belts and pouches. I mean, you gotta carry your stuff somewhere. If you don't like them, loving the 90s nostalgia I'm getting from them. Paint them all like the cartoons. Yeah, I never had cable when I was a kid, so I never got to watch any of that stuff. I have no nostalgia. I don't know, just the idea of superpowered beings. I don't know. Just doesn't do it for me. The game is cool though, like the mechanics of the game is cool. But yeah, I don't know. I think I have to be like invested in like the story in order to really, because I got like friends who are like complete Marvel Crisis Protocol, and like I don't know anything about the universe. It's hard to really grab me. If I don't like the universe. He was notoriously bad at proportions, with feet being a particular challenge. Interesting, feet of all things. Did you see my X-Men Avengers post? Colin, I do not. I can't. You should send me stuff to my DMs because I cannot scroll my feed. Every other post is an ad, and I just can't. I can't do it. Instagram is like busted. So, you know, I don't see anybody's posts because I cannot shop my feed. It's terrible. And I've looked through other people's, like, home feeds or whatever on Instagram, and it does not look like mine. Like, you'll get maybe 5 posts before you get an ad. No, it's every other ad. Every other post that I see is an ad. It's ridiculous. And I don't know if it's just because of like the number of followers I have or something that changes the way that my feed looks. It's fucking stupid. Cable is one of the worst offenders, is he? Not that different from 40k and superpowers equals magical and chaos blessings. Colin, you're not going to talk me into it. You're not going to talk me into it. I don't like the way they look. I don't like the universe. And in terms of 40k, I mostly play orcs and I mostly play Imperial Guard, which are like not exactly superheroes, you know? I know you're talking about cable TV. I'm just joking about the X-Men character Cable, who was like poster boy for his style. Gotcha. Paid sponsorship BS. It's not even that. It's like literally ads. It's like ads for Coca-Cola and stuff. It's just ridiculous. It's not even like I do get sponsored ads, but I would much rather see those than like just straight up advertising. And don't even get me started on my stories. My stories are even worse. Sometimes I get 2 ads in a row, and it's every other story is an ad. So it's like story, ad, story, ad. It's ridiculous. I cannot, like, it's basically unusable now. Which sucks. It's really sad because, like, Instagram was how I actually found, like, my voice in the hobby, and now I can't even use the platform. Everybody wants to talk about, like, how Twitter is such a mess right now. Sorry, Instagram, also a mess. Okay, you have to let that sit. There's a few spaces that I'm gonna have to darken up a little bit, make them a little bit more opaque. See a spot I missed in this other color here, though. What are we painting tonight? This is a Keeper of Secrets from Games Workshop. I'm working on this green. That's it's pretty difficult to work with actually, but I knew that going into it. I don't get many ads like that. It's mainly pages asking for subscriptions now. I know it's odd because I've seen other people's feeds and they don't look like mine. So yeah, I'm not sure why I get such a different experience, but yeah, it's unusable. I will not see your posts because I hate ads on everything, so I don't go to the movie theater anymore. It's 'cause 30 minutes of ads before the movie actually starts, a movie I paid to see. So yeah, I don't know. It's ridiculous. And yeah, I was complaining to somebody about it one day. So I think she had maybe like 1,000 followers or something, and she's like, "Oh wow, like that's not my experience at all." And so we like compared our feeds, and oh my god, it is crazy the difference between mine and like literally everybody else's. Hey, Spark Minis, how's it going? I hope that you're doing well. Your page is great. Aw. Thanks, Colin. I haven't been posting as much. I should. Like, I painted a bunch of ogres, never posted them. I painted a few orcs, never posted them. Somebody subscribing on Twitch? Thanks for the subscription on Twitch. I don't stream there anymore. I should probably just, like, take that notification thingy off. But yeah, I should actually post that stuff, especially with like the new Ogre book coming out, which isn't in yet. Otherwise, I would be playing that. But yeah, I should post that stuff. Okay. I'm okay with not doing too many more highlights like on the underneath, because you can sort of see it goes underneath. I don't think I need to do any more highlights there. That's fine. Okay, let that dry. I do want to attack this though, because there's a few places where the pigment isn't opaque, so it sucks also that I have to paint this way, because with like your brush leaves a bit of pigment on the end that the end of the bristles are on, so it actually makes it really difficult to properly glaze. I wish that I could somehow get it so the brush could go that way, but we doing our best here. This is part of the joy of figuring out how to paint stuff when it's assembled, right? Doing good, watching you while I work from home. Well, I'm glad to have you here. You are an absolute gem. You and I'm guessing that this is not Dim? I'm guessing that this is Nikki, but maybe it's Dim. You're both amazing. Okay, I'm gonna let that dry. I think I'm gonna have to like hit it one more time. It's just me. Dim is at work. Aww. Well, Nikki, hello. How's it going? I would ask you what you're painting, but you're working. Womp, womp, womp. I'm just waiting for my dog to come back and be like, hey, walk me. It's that time. Could I ask you your top 3 tips for a novice painter? Absolutely, Andrew. While I wait for that to dry, that's like a perfect opportunity. So the first one I would say is don't worry too much at first about following tutorials. Now, why do I say that? Because in order to be successful at following most tutorials, you kind of have to have a base set of skills that only comes from actually painting models. So some of those skills are going to be brush control, which no tutorial can teach you. The only thing that can teach you that is getting your brushes out and putting paint on models. The other thing that you need to learn that no tutorial can teach you is like actually how the paint moves when you thin it to different degrees, and really that is a trial and error thing. So at first, if you're like brand new, I wouldn't worry too much about tutorials until you get really comfortable with your brush control and like thinning paints and stuff. The other thing is that if you can't, like if you've never really mastered a crisp base coat, and what I mean by that is that it's nice and smooth, and also that like if you haven't mastered your brush control to be able to like say draw this delineation between the green and it looks blue but it's actually purple in real life. So like if you can't make a clean delineation like that yet, just keep working on your brush control until you move on to just keep working on your brush control before you move on to like more advanced techniques like highlights and things. Really work on, unless that's what you're going for and your style is really messy, but then just make mindful choices about it. So a crisp, clean base coat will go a lot farther than you than like rushing forward to do a bunch of like advanced techniques. And then the other thing is, sometimes your color choices, if you're really bold in your color choices, sometimes it can actually mask some of your imperfections. So sometimes if you choose like, let's see here, like this guy. So sometimes if you're bold with your color choices, if I can actually get this to focus. Let's see here. I don't know if this will actually focus, but I got this model secondhand and it's put together very, very poorly. But because I've made high contrast color choices, high contrast in the edge highlights, and then high contrast with this really light metallic against this kind of darker orange, and this really bright, cool kind of turquoise against the fiery red. Because I've made these specific color choices, most people will pick up this model and not see that whoever had it before me covered it in glue. So if you're just beginning and you maybe want to hide imperfections, or you want people to look at different parts of the model instead of mistakes that you've made, maybe consider using your color choices to draw the eye to the parts of the model that you are proud of. So those are like my top tips. I have other tips too, but the other thing too is just like have fun and don't be afraid to find your own style. Don't be afraid to like not paint like everyone else, because where's the fun in that? Aiming to finish up a commission piece tonight. Right now, just on the phones collections. I used to do collections for a lease-to-own company. That was real shit. I did not like that at all. That color scheme is awesome. Thanks, Colin. Okay, so I'm gonna pat a little bit more color into these underrobes, and I think I'm gonna do a little bit more on here, and then I'm gonna call it a day. That's what I'm gonna do. Not really, I just have to walk my dog. So I'm not gonna go all the way to the edge because I've finally got a bit of a blend going on there, so I'm just gonna pat this color on near the outside edge here. The other thing too to keep in mind if you're a novice painter is that a lot of paints kind of oxidize as they dry, so the color can sometimes change from wet to dry. So before you make a decision if you want to change a color, just let it dry first. That'll tell you what the color truly is, and then from there you can make a better informed decision. Because like this color goes on lighter, and then as it dries it's darker. So that's why I really had to let it sit for a little bit. Had to cook. I can imagine those kind of calls. Yeah. I mean, working in collections, if you didn't have thick skin before, like you certainly develop it real quick. I picked up some custodies. My idea is to do black armor, purple cloth, and silver heraldry accents, but the black looks very bland and the silver doesn't stand out very well. Black is very difficult. I'm not gonna lie. I think black is actually one of the more difficult colors to do well. I can sort of show you what I did on my Sisters of Silence. But yeah, black is very hard to get like contrast between the highlights and the shadows because you can't really do anything blacker than black. But yeah, just let me finish this up here because this is the last little bit I'm gonna do on this model for now. And then I'll grab a Sister of Silence and I can show you how I sort of made the black armor work. I really like how this green is turning out against the purple. That's kind of part of my style, is just like these crazy color combinations right next to each other. I also really like cell shading, which is funny because I don't like superheroes, but I do like comic books. Namely, I like Tank Girl. And let's see, who's going to be the best example here? Probably the leader. Okay. She's so little. Hopefully I can actually get it to focus. Ah, here we go. So with the black armor, I could have done this black as well because it is technically armor. I could have done the shoulders black as well. But the cool thing about Custodes armor is that it's like this. You can pick out parts of it to be metallics. In general, I think it depends on the purple that you're using, because some purples lean like a bit more warm and other ones lean a bit more cool. So if you have cool silver, you have a cooler purple, and you've got black, maybe you're sort of missing a bit of contrast. And Custodes have like gems everywhere, so maybe by adding something that's a bit of a warmer kind of tone, it might just break it up a little bit to make it look a bit more interesting. So I don't know, maybe like a warm orangey red, maybe. It really depends on like the purple that you're using. If you do need help with color schemes, I have an app that I use. Let's see if I can pull it up and show you. Let's see. So it's this one. It's called Color Lab. I'm just gonna turn this off for a second so y'all can see. So, and so what I like to do when I have like ideas for color scheme is I pick the color picker, and you've got like, this is more of like a neutral white. The white balance is messed up here, but so say you picked your purple. Say you went with like kind of a cooler purple, like it's closer to the blue than it is to the pink over here. So say that's the purple that you used. Then you can go over here and you pick harmony, and it will tell you which kind of colors go with that color that you picked. So there's a whole bunch of different harmonies that you can pick from. Split complementary. Black is also like a true neutral, so it goes with any other color that you have going on here, right? So you've got two neutrals, you've got black and silver, both kind of neutral, and then you've got the purple. So maybe coming in here and like picking a color that kind of goes with the purple that you picked could be a way to make it interesting. See, to me, I really like these like really high contrast kind of harmonies. So purple and like an orangey reddish kind of color. That's immediately where my brain went. So let's try square. This one's quite nice too. I would probably do something with this one. Tetradic. It's a little bit more bold. Tetradic minus. A little less bold, I think. And then Clash. See, I like Clash. That looks beautiful. I would pick all of those colors. Sent you my Avengers X-Men pick. Now I'm working on my Archeo conversion for Blood Angels. Sick. I'll check that out. Black is rough because you highlight it and it looks like your armor is actually dark gray. So all hints appreciated. My armor. Oh, is it almost time, buddy? Okay. 5 more minutes. So this armor is actually really, really dark gray. So I mixed black and black gray by model color, so it's almost black, but it has got a little tiny bit of white in it, and that is actually what I painted this. Can you please focus? There we go. And then I used the black gray as like just spare, like very, very sparse highlights. And then I think I added a little bit of white to that in order to just hit like the very corners. But it's not black, it is gray. So there are portions of black in like the joints and stuff, but it's very subtle. I love how well each armor piece is defined on that black. Yeah, that takes practice to get the steady hand to do that, but this is my go-to black highlight. If I want it really subtle, I'll add just a hint of black to it, but otherwise it looks like that. So that's Vallejo black gray. And that's my edge highlight for black. But yeah, in general, I would say black is really boring. So you're probably going to want to pick a contrasting color in order to do some sort of details on it to make it look kind of interesting. But that's how I kind of approached it. I added a bit more of a warm metallic on there. I thought it looked pretty cool. I have that black gray too. It's like one of my go-to colors. I absolutely adore that. Highly recommend if you're planning on painting black to get it, just so you don't actually have to mix your highlights. All right. It was a long session today, you guys. But I feel like, I mean, for me, I got a lot done because this green is really hard to work with. So we've got some highlights on there. So what do you guys want for next week? Do you want me to continue highlighting on this green? Because I have these two colors left to do on the highlight. So we could do that together if you want to see what that looks like. Or I can do that off stream and we can start working on the gold next week. You guys let me know. You can like leave comments. You can tell me right now in the chat. Those are the options. I really am kind of excited to keep going on this. I think that it's going to look so cool on the table. Thunderhawk blue is a nice highlight for a blue effect. Yeah, I used to have that paint, but I think it turned into a rubber ball, so I had to get rid of it. And what else do I have this week? So on Wednesday, I'm going to be doing a Warhammer 40k Explained, and we're going to talk about disembarking. Basically, I'm doing this one because I want to deep dive that rule because I think I've been playing it wrong. So, Warhammer 40k Disembarkation will be on Wednesday, and then that's it. It's going to be a quiet week because there's no Jisbo Paint Out on Friday. Love seeing the progress on the green. Okay, Mark has spoken. We will do more on the green next Monday, and then the Monday after that I'm taking the day off for my birthday. I'm gonna eat cake with my family. But that's it for today. I'm gonna love you and leave you because I gotta take my doggo outside in the freezing cold slippery ass snow. So If you guys need anything, feel free to reach out. My DMs are always open if you have like painting questions and stuff. If you feel so inclined and you're sort of looking for a community to join of like-minded, amazing, helpful human beings, you can always come and join my Patreon Discord. Everybody is super fun. We are very I think we're just like a loving little community that's really supportive and non-judgmental. So if you're looking for a place where you can share your hobby, I would say we're wholesome, but there's a meme channel and sometimes it doesn't stay wholesome. But other than that, we are very friendly. So you can find the link to the Patreon in the description down below. And until next time, everybody, I love you very much, and be nice and roll dice. Bye, everybody.